the previous class we defined the random experiment. And the example for this random experiment is tossing a coin. So when you toss a coin, the outcome or the results of this particular experiment cannot be predicted before actually they occur. That is the outcomes of this particular experiment are probabilistic. So that's why we call it as a random experiment. Okay? Here we are given the name random because of the probabilistic nature of the outcomes of the experiment. Okay? And another simple example is when you take a die and throw it. Okay? The outcomes may be 1, 2 to 6. Either of these 6 numbers will come out. So here also we cannot predict, even though we have the knowledge of the previous outcomes, the previous results, we cannot predict what will be the next outcome exactly. Okay. So that is the reason why we call this particular performance or particular observation as the random experiment. Okay. So here, if you perform a random experiment and we observe some results of that particular experiment. Those results are called as the outcomes. Okay. So each random experiment produces separately identifiable outcomes. Okay. It has some separately identifiable outcomes. Here, if you observe this, the head, tail. These are the two separately identifiable outcomes. Okay. We can easily identify whether the outcome is head or tail. Similarly, the 1 to 6 are the outcomes of the particular random. Understood? So here, if you consider the S1 is one outcome, S2 is another outcome, and so on, we have some Sn. That is n number of outcomes of a particular random experiment. Let us assume we perform some experiment, that is a random experiment, and the results or the outcomes of that particular experiment are S1, S2 and so on, Sn. That is, here we have n distinct or n separately identifiable outcomes, S1, S2 and so on, Sn. Here, the set of all possible outcomes or the set of possible outcomes of a random experiment is designated as S, and we call it as the sample description space or simply sample space of the random experiment. We performed a random experiment and the set of all possible outcomes or the set of possible outcomes of that particular random experiment is called as the sample space or sample description space. So normally we use this terminology in the context of a random experiment. So here the sample space of this particular example random experiment consists of the outcomes S1, S2, so on, Sn. So here S1, S2 and so on, Sn are the elements of the sample space. Is it? S is a set and the elements of the sample space here are the outcomes. Okay? So these elements S1, S2 and so on, Sn are called as the sample points. That is, set of sample points is the sample space. Okay? Or otherwise, S1, S2, so on, Sn are the separately identifiable outcomes of the random experiment, and the set of these outcomes is called as the sample space, and the elements of the sample space are called as the sample points. Okay. So here we have n number of sample points. If you observe this S, which is the sample space of the random experiment, is subset of itself. Is that right? Because S contains itself. So therefore, S is the subset of itself. Not only that, any subset of the sample space is termed as the event. Are you following the definition? We started with the random experiment. We defined the sample space associated with the random experiment, and then we defined the sample points. Now we are going to define the subset of the sample space. That is, any subset of the sample space is called as an event. For example, let A is a set, and if this A is the subset of S, then A is called as an event. We already know that the sample space S itself is subset of S. Therefore, here S is also an event. So, how many events that we can define on a sample space of n number of elements? How many events that we can see? Here I define one event, another event. How many events that we can define on a sample space of n elements? 2 power n is the correct answer. So we can define 2 power n events. We have a sample space and the elements of this sample space are n. Then we can define 2 power n number of events on that particular sample space of a particular random. So this is very fundamental. I think you might have studied in here we are using the probability theory as a mathematical tool. Now let us consider one example of throwing a coin once. Let us assume the coin is paired. What do you mean by paired coin? That is, outcomes are said to be equally likely. Is it? I think you might have heard about all these words. Equally likely events. 2 events are said to be equally likely when the probability is same. That is, there is same chance of occurrence of the equally likely events. So here, in the case of the paired coin, you assume the coin is paired. Most of the cases, we assume the coin is a paired coin, and the 2 possible outcomes. Here, see, the outcomes are only 2. Okay, one is head, another is tail. So the set of these 2 outcomes is the sample space. Is it? That is, I can say that this is S1 and this is S2. The sample point S1 is H and S2 is the T. Actually, what is H? H is event of getting a head and T is event of getting a tail. So therefore, as we have 2 elements, how many events that we can define? 4 events can be defined. So here, one event is H. That is, when you throw a paired coin, heads may come up. So therefore, that is an event. Here, there is another way of defining the event. Event is subset with some specification. Here, what is the specification? We are specifying that outcome should be heads. our outcome should be tail, is it? So therefore head is one event and tail is another event. What are the two more events? Head, head and tail. How it is possible head and tail? See, when you throw a coin, the outcome may be either head or tail, not head and tail. For example, the coin stands. When you throw, the coin stands. Can you say it is head and tail? It is neither head nor tail. It is not head and tail. Because head and tail will not occur because they are equally likely. There is 50% chance. 50%. Is it? If head occurs, tail may not occur. Tail will not occur. Definitely we can say it. Tail occur, head will not. Both not possible. So what are the two more events? S is the third event and the null, the complement of S. Here, this S that we define, the sample space S that we define, corresponding to a random experiment, can also be called as universal set. Because corresponding to that particular random experiment, the S contain all possible outcomes. Therefore, we can consider it as universal set. The complement of S is a S prime is the complement of S. That is, the elements that are not in S is the phi. Phi is null set. Therefore, we have four events. That is, when you throw a coin, the outcome may be head, tail, or nothing. And why this S is included? S is the universal set because it is subset of S itself. So therefore, that is also included. That's why we have 4. Similarly, when you throw a dice, the sample space is 1, 2, we have 6 elements. So therefore, I can say that the sample point S1, S2, S3 and so on. S. Here how many events we can define? 2 power 6. Here we can define 2 power 6 events. That is 1, 2 and 6. And then 1, 3, 5. That is an odd number come out. That is one event. An even number come out. That is one event. A number less than or equivalent to 2. A number less than 1. A number greater than or equivalent to 6. A number greater than or equivalent to 6. That is possible. Greater than or equivalent. A number greater than 6. 0. It will not. Because we have only 6 faces for a die. I think you might have observed the dice is known to you. We have 6 faces and you will have the dots or numbers. Okay? Right. Can you write down all the events? All the 64 events? Of course, it is somewhat tedious. Okay, no need. But just remember. It includes all the 64 events include S and phi. So apart from S and phi, we have remaining 62 events we can define. So here, in both cases, we have thrown the coin as well as the dice. And this is a sample space and this is the corresponding sample space. Now, if you toss the coin twice, then the sample space is different. Understood? That is, again we are performing the same experiment of throwing a coin or tossing a coin. In the first case, we tossed only once. Now we are tossing twice. To toss the coin twice, the sample space is different. That is HH, HT. The set of these four possible outcomes is the sample space. So here we have four elements. We can define 2 power 4 events on this. That is, this HS indicates H on the first trial, H on the second trial, or H on the first trial, T on the second trial, T on the first, H on the second, T on both the trials. So therefore, you may get either of these four outcomes. So in all these examples, the outcomes are equally likely. Is it right? Because they have the equal chance of occurrence. So that's why these events HH, HT, TH or HT 1, 2, 3, 4 are said to be equally likely events, or the outcomes are equally likely. Is it clear? Can you give any examples of the random experiment and the outcomes? So here we consider one more definition. Let us assume in a particular random experiment of throwing a dice once, the elements are 1 to 6. And if you take the coin tossing experiment, the elements are H, T. So this can also be represented as 0, 1. Is it? Here I am assuming the outcome is H, that outcome can be represented by 0. The outcome is T, that can be represented by 1. That is the assumption, no need of. And the sample space S can be represented by the two sample points, S1, which is H, and another sample point is S. This is one sample point, and this is another sample point, and this is the sample space. Is it right? So here we can clearly observe the four events that we can define. S prime as the complement of this event and this event. So here S2 indicates T. Similarly, if you take the dice experiment, the outcome, that is how many sample points we have? We have 6 sample points. That is S1, S2, S3, the 4, 5 and 6. Understood? So once we have the sample space like this, in these two examples, the number of elements of the sample space are finite. Is it? The number of elements of these two sample spaces are finite. Let us assume in a particular experiment, in a particular random experiment, the outcome is any number from 1 to infinity, that is all the integers. Then what will be the set of outcomes? Set of outcomes are